Okay, welcome back to the day after talking duck sports. Now, I got really sick the other day, and so this is a little tough for me to do this, but we're gonna do it anyway. I thought, you know, Oregon had a game that they had to show up to, and I'm not 100% sure that that happened. As I said, I'm just a fan. I'm no coach. I don't break down film. I don't do anything. It's just what I see as a fan. So what I see as a fan is Alik Terry, the offensive line coach, may be out of a job this year and definitely should be looked at to depart and bring in somebody else because at this point, I think that's the weak link of this team. And I'm not sure that it's something that's going to be corrected. And Boise State, nothing to take away from them. They're a really good team, and their running back is unbelievable. Um, but I don't see this being a 3 point game. Dylan Gabriel was sacked like 3 times, and it's just kind of getting embarrassing. I think all of last year, Oregon had 5 sacks. This year, they have 6 already, and we're only 2 games in. And I'm starting to wonder if maybe Dylan Gabriel isn't the guy that should be starting at Oregon. Now I know people are going to be like, "Oh, he's a 6 year senior, blah 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 blah." Yeah, but I'm not seeing what I was hoping to see from him. He misses wide open receivers, and I don't mean like he threw the ball and missed him. I mean like he's making his reads early, and he's missing guys that are breaking open later on. And that's what I mean. I thought some of his sacks in this game yesterday, like he just curled up in a ball before he was even touched. And I think like Bo Nix and Dante Moore would be a little more dynamic, and I think it would. To me, I think it would standardize the line, and you go back to a right-handed quarterback using Dante Moore, because I don't think this line right now is able to protect a left-handed quarterback being the opposite side. They moved guys all around, and it's just not working. And I'm sorry, nothing against Boise State, but this schedule gets a hell of a lot harder here very soon. And what was once, a one loss season is now looking like maybe a 2 or 3 loss season. And because if they can't get this line thing straightened out, then it's just not going to be good. Not going to be good. So let's just kind of take a look here. So Oregon trailed much of this game. Even going in the half, they were down. They come up in the second half and have a couple explosion plays and miss the extra point, which that just can't happen. You just can't miss extra points. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, and then it came down to the defense. I thought played pretty well for the most part, but Gentry, he'll or is it Gentry? Anyway, their running back will make you pay when you're out of line. When you're not lined up like you're supposed to be, he's gone. And that's what he did. 70 yards on that one touchdown, broke that wide open and everything. So this isn't the game that Oregon was supposed to have to bounce back. I don't see it that way. If you look at the stats, Boise State outplayed Oregon the whole game. The only difference was special teams. It's the only reason Oregon won this game was special teams. Not because of their offense and really not because of their defense. So first down, Boise State had more. Third down, this was the embarrassing part. Third down, 4th of 12, and Boise State was 9 of 19. Fourth down efficiency, neither of them went. Rushing yards, Boise State had 221. I think Gentry had like 186 of those. Passing yards, Dylan Gabriel threw for 243. Not too bad, but again, not real great. Like I thought at times he was fine, and then other times he just wasn't aware of what was happening. He missed a couple of long throws down, and that may be due to the hand injury that he had. He got a cut on the hand, but I don't know. So Oregon comes up with 352 yards, about 200 shy of what they normally are doing. The defense only gets one sack, and Boise State ends up with 4 sacks. That's just not gonna win you games. I'm sorry. Neither team threw an interception. Uh, Punting, that's the punt. The special teams is really where it was at. But again, Oregon had 9 penalties. 9. And if I can sum up this team so far in one word, it would be undisciplined. So this year for me, this team through 2 games, one word, undisciplined. And that's not something we've seen from Dan Lanning before. I don't know what's going on, but 9 penalties is just not going to help you out. And I think 3 of those penalties were on the same drive. I mean, they were like, what, 3rd and 46 or something crazy. That just can't happen. It just can't. And then that's the thing's gotta get fixed. Gotta get fixed. So Dylan Gabriel had 18 of 21 for 243, 11-yard average, 2 TDs. Madison threw 40 passes. That's crazy because I didn't think they threw that often, but I guess they did. There was a couple of series where they just didn't run at all. But Ashton Genenti, 25 carries for 192 yards, 7.2 average, and 3 TDs, long as 70. I mean, you got to take your hat off to that guy. That guy runs hard. He doesn't go down. He's got really good vision, and he's fast. And, man, that guy is just good. I thought at times the Oregon defense did a good job, but I felt like the longer Oregon did a good job, then they started to slack off a little bit, and then that's when Ashton would get his big runs. But Jordan James did pretty good, 17 carries for 102 yards, 6 average. Noah Whittington, again, he just seems slow to me in the backfield. Seems like a step slow. Doesn't have the same vision as Jordan James or something. I don't know. But he was 6 carries for 21 yards. His longest one was 8. Jordan James was 12. I think they're really keen on the running backs, though, putting all that pressure. See, when you're running through the line, getting pressure on the quarterback, it's really hard to run up the middle because you already have those guys breaking through the gaps. And Oregon's just not creating holes up the middle. I think all of Jordan James' runs were off the side. So, yeah, I don't know. Evan Stewart had a huge game. 5 receptions, 112 yards, 1 TD. Trayshawn Holden, 4 receptions for 78 yards, 1 TD. And Tez Johnson is going to have to do better. Now, he was open on a couple of plays that they just chose to go to somebody else, which is okay, but you got to get that guy touches. He only had 3 targets the whole time, 3 receptions, and his long was 3 yards. You got to get Tez Johnson a couple more touches. But overall, I mean, they spread the ball around. Terrace Ferguson did good. But, okay. Now, Oregon had 2 fumbles. One was Patrick Herbert fumbled on a catch, but I don't fault him as much for that one because he catches the ball, he turns, and the guy puts his helmet right on the ball. That's a hard one to keep a hold of, but ball security is going to have to be a must with Oregon. Oregon can't be turning the ball over. Right now, they're just not good enough. And if it wasn't for special teams breakdowns, Oregon would have lost this game by 2 touchdowns. Let's be honest. So I thought Boise State thoroughly outplayed Oregon the whole time. And I just think that other than the 3rd quarter, Oregon was just out of sorts. Their offensive line, again, just didn't live up to what they're supposed to be able to do. and I don't think it's talent. I think they have the talent. To me, that means Alik Terry, the offensive line coach, and he's gonna have to look in on himself and maybe find himself a new team because Oregon can't have offensive lines like this. They just can't. And if it's a teaching thing, then that's the guy that's responsible. He just is. So I don't know. As a fan, that's kind of what I saw. I think Dylan Gabriel. I think Dante Moore may need to get some snaps because I think a right-handed quarterback may settle the line. I don't think they're gonna do that, but that's kind of what I would be trying to get him a series or two in there and see what he can do. Um, Offensive line is just gonna have to get more disciplined. They're just gonna have to play more sound football, and we're 2 weeks into the season, and it's not gonna get any easier. So I don't really know what Oregon's gonna do because I tell you what, Oregon State is gonna do everything they can to beat Oregon, just beyond the fact that it's Oregon State. You know, Oregon State's now in the Pac-12, the Pac-2, whatever, and Oregon's supposed to be, this big front runner for the Big Ten title, which I don't see at all. I think Oregon at this point in the season, if Oregon plays how they played the first two games, I think Oregon's taken 3 losses this year. They have to get better. And I don't know. I don't know what you're going to do, but you got to get better because next week it's not going to get any easier. You got Oregon State. And then you got UCLA. And then you got Michigan State, and then you got Ohio State. And Ohio State, man, they're putting up 56 points a game, blanking opponents. So I don't know. That's going to be an ugly situation if Oregon can't get this line figured out because Ohio State will just live in our backfield the whole time. But with that, a win is a win. Oregon's 2-0. We finally beat Boise State after 3 or what? So we're 1-3. So 4 tries it took us to beat Boise State. We finally beat Boise State. I'm glad we weren't playing at Boise State because I don't know that we would have won this game, but thank God we did. Ducks 2-0. I guess win is a win, but it's not looking pretty for the future. So, man, Oregon State, Civil War week. We're just going to have to see what happens next week. Much love all.